moving on from your back, so this is something that you had to play through all of those years. What
Yeah.
other injuries did you have to overcome in your career?
I broke my wrist my freshman year in a game, actually. We were playing one of the outsides. We both went for a ball, and she kind of ended up tackling me. She's about 6 foot, a little bigger than me. And when I fell with my hand out like this,
Mm.
and she fell on top of me. And I remember I got up, everyone was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm moving my wrist, putting it up and down, all good. You know, the ball's still going, play's still going." So, and then after that set, or we had a timeout, and my athletic trainer came up to go, "Are you okay?" Like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine." And I remember she put like a piece of tape on it. She's like, "Oh, it's swelling up a little bit." I'm like, whatever, I'm fine." And then after the third set, or whenever we ended up winning the game in three, and we go into the locker room after, and I look at it, and it's pretty swollen at this point. I go, "Ooh, yeah, I think now I'm starting to feel it, because all the adrenaline's gone, right?"
Hmm.
And so she gave me the option. She said, "We can either go to sit in the ER for 5 or 6 hours tonight, and or I can take you, tomorrow morning." I said, "It's fine. We'll just go tomorrow morning." We actually got an X-ray, and my hand was so swollen it wouldn't show up on the X-ray.
Oh
So then
no.
so then I had to wait another day to go get an MRI, and then he's like, "Yeah, you broke." I can't even remember which one it was.
Hmm.
The one that connects your thumb and your wrist.
Hmm.
So broke that one, and then they put the cast on me. And I remember getting back into the training room, and she said, "All right, how are we going to make this work?" And I looked at her like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, you're going to play with it." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll figure something out." And we were super lucky, because a guy on the men's soccer team had actually just broken his wrist that week, and him and his dad had put together some like type of thing that he was allowed for soccer. So we kind of just copied that. But the thing was that I had to do all this stuff on my left arm, which then ended up being about 2 inches thick on top of my cast. So then I had to do the same on my right arm. I'm walking around looking like Iron Man and stuff with my two arms. But I just remember going up into the gym for the first day after I had them. Like, there's no way this is gonna work, and it ended up being fine. I mean, it was an advantage sometimes. I think if I dove for a ball and it would barely touch my cast, and it would just go like flying up in the air. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. I remember every ref would come up to me and be like, "Are you okay? You don't have to play if you don't want to." I'm like, "No, it's okay."
So yeah, and we'll put the picture because you actually have the picture of you playing with the double padded forearms.
Yes.
So I didn't even actually I learned tons from you. Majority of my experience is with football. So football, obviously, you can play with a cast, but it has to be a soft pad over it. Actually, Kupono kind of briefly mentioned this to me, and I was like, yeah, I really don't know what the rules are for volleyball. Like, why would you have to pad it if you're not going to come in contact? But I guess you could come in contact with your own teammate. So it sounds
Yeah.
like you had to pad it where it would be soft enough for you to actually protect you and others. But also the pad would have to be functional where you could pass. Otherwise, there's no sense in wearing the pad, right? So
Yes.
what was that pad? Was it just a foam pad over both arms?
We taped it about 2, 3 times, and then we put a metal splint. So
Okay.
when you sprain your ankle and they
Mhm.
take it out of the first aid, so we used that, and that was the platform.
Okay.
And then we did the styrofoam, the padding over
Mhm.
it, taped it a couple more times, and then the same thing on the right one. So it ended up working out way better than I ever would expect it. I always laugh about it still when I think about it, but
What
yeah.
was the learning curve to actually play and pass with it?
Oh my gosh, hours of just someone hitting down balls at me.
Yes.
And I wish I had video of the first day, because it's just, I mean, it's 3 or 4 inches that you're not used to. And then I kind of had to learn how to pad it, and, with my platform, not, not swinging at all, but kind of taking the impact of the ball in a little bit too with you, because if you don't, that ball is just flying where you have no control of it. Yeah, and I remember having to lift with the cast too, and or like we'd be conditioning and we'd have, you know, the tire, rotating the tires and stuff, be like struggling or burpees. But yeah, I still try to do as much as I could with it, but probably that's one of my favorite stories for sure.
I'm sure you were thrilled when it was time to take off the cast and just get back to normal function.
It was disgusting, actually. I had it on for 3 months, which I think is a lot more than you should have it on for.
Yeah.
But I went home for Christmas break. I came back and I got it off a little bit. They ended up taking it off in our actual trainer's facility, and it reeked. It was so gross because I'd been playing for 2 months with it, just sweat building up, and it was nasty. But
so that was majority of your season then. I mean, they probably just wanted to keep it on as a precaution. It sounds like you fractured your scaphoid, which is a concern because it can't heal sometimes fully unless it really gets the right environment and conditions. So you played with it pretty much the whole season, and I give you a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, it was in October. So, most of conference actually was in it. Now I see it sometimes. I'll see if I turn on TV. Some players will have it. I'm like, hey, I would like to think that I started that, but
yes. So let's talk about, I mean, it shows a lot about you as an athlete, you as a person, to go through that experience and play and still be able to perform.